be doing that again now. Hey, I'm T.A. Charlie, and welcome to The Road to Concord with Professor Joe Bakanovic. Homeroom is on Rumble. You just go to Rumble and search channels for The Road to Concord. It's one word. When you find it, you go ahead and you click follow. It might mean you got to set up an account, but it's fast, it's easy, it's free. I did it, you can do it. For those technologically challenged members of the class, you can also catch us on Facebook and YouTube. After the show, it's uploaded to Podbean, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and BitChute. Just look for The Road to Concord. You can go to the blog page, that's theroadtoconcord.com. That's where you'll find all your show notes, study notes, and handouts for the class. The phone is working. If you don't know how to call in, email us and we'll think about it. Finally, you can email a professor at joe@theroadtoconcord.com. He's a little slow, but he'll eventually get around to emailing you back. This show is currently mainly listener-sponsored. If you are interested in advertising your business on the show, please email us. With that said, we ask for your participation on a value-for-value basis. If you find our show of value to you, then you provide an equivalent portion of your labor and treasure through the donate link on the Road to Concord blog page, the show description on Rumble, and in the comments on the other streams. And thank you to all of you who have and will support this show.
I miss the drums, Charlie. I'm glad we're doing this right now. I kind of like the drums. We'll have to work those into the new one. Yes. Okay. Good morning. Welcome to the Road to Concord. This is going to be Tuesday, January 6, 2026, New Year. I am your host, Joe Bakanovic. If you don't like calling me professor, that's fine. Just blame it on Aaron Spikes. Is he tardy? I haven't seen him check in yet, Natasha. Where's your boyfriend at? If you see him check in, smack him over the head for being tardy to class. Tell him he owes me an apple. We're easy for me to say. We're going to be talking about DUNE today. DUNE. Yes. Artificial intelligence and Islam. We'll keep Islam toward the end of the show because I don't have a whole lot to say about it just yet. But yes. My glitchy AI is complaining. AI, the show's about her today. And AI is artificial intelligence is a centerpiece in the DUNE series, for those of you who are not aware of that. And Islam is front and center in DUNE. Not sure whether or not you're aware of that, know it or not, but oh boy, yes. The older first movie of DUNE, you know, the original one that's like 30, 40 years old now, I didn't see it there. I didn't catch on. They filtered that out. When I saw the current series that's running, oh boy, Islam front and center right in my face. I couldn't miss it. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But I want to talk to you about AI. And I'm going to get serious here now. I enjoy, or used to enjoy, watching documentaries. History Channel's useless. Discovery Channel's useless. Science Channel's useless. Nobody wants to teach you anything anymore. So I've pretty much lost the things I used to watch. But I found one channel on YouTube, and I thought, okay, this one might be good because it was, you know, strange horror or something like this, fascinating horrors or whatever. And it did a story on a tragedy that I was aware of in the past, and it taught me a little bit of stuff that I think it taught me. At the time, I thought it was teaching me stuff I didn't know. And, you know, it did another story on the Amtrak wreck at the bridge in that going over the bayou in Alabama years ago. And I remembered that. You know, I don't live all that far from where that happened. It's the next state over. And it did a few stories, and then it did one on a fire, skyscraper fire in San Francisco. And as I'm watching it, it's putting this forward as a real story, as this actually happened. I'm like, hold on a minute. This story is familiar. And as it went on, I realized what the story was about. And I'm like, okay, so is the story something that actually happened, or is it something that this AI is making up? You know, I was wondering what the relation is. And then it dawned on me the story is this: the Towering Inferno. This YouTube page was putting forth the movie as though it was actual history. It even said that the site where the tower once was, where the fire was and the tragedy happened, has been, the building was torn down, and now that, insurance pyramid looking building has been built on that same site. So I'm like, okay, well, apparently AI was looking for a story, and it grabbed a hold of the movie and turned the movie into a story, and it didn't know any better. So, all right, I was watching, and I continued to watch. A couple more stories, things that I remember being real. I know they were real. And then it came up with another one. Then there was another story, and this one was about a series of shark attacks off of Amityville, the coast of Amityville, a city named Amityville in New England. And I realized, oh, this is Jaws. And they put that forward as being real. So the AI was taking movies and turning them into history stories and teaching people as though they were real history. I have a whole bunch of AI related stories in a folder here, folks. This is just one of them. This is from Not the Bee. And let's see, where's the date line on this? This is March 27th, 2023. And it says AI is now being used to create photos of historical events that did not happen. And in this one, you have a picture. This is the Great Cascadia earthquake that devastated Oregon in 2001. The kicker, it never happened. The images are AI generated. Just this morning, I saw pictures of the Star Wars, the original, New Hope Star Wars cast depicted as a Western frontier movie. Oh my gosh, did that look real? And they did the same thing for the cast of Hobbit and the cast of a couple of others for Stranger Things and all this stuff, and it looked real. Man, does it look real. And ordinarily, you might think, well, whatever, big deal. I'm not your average cookie. I make a living interpreting pictures. Yeah, I do. And in my profession, in my field, I've got a bit of a reputation for being really good at finding things in pictures that have been well known for decades, and I find things in there nobody had ever seen before. And it's probably because when I was younger, I was studying to become an commercial artist. So I have a finer eye for certain things, for shadow and nuance in a picture. Just training, that's all. No big deal. It's just I actually have been trained for this. So when I start finding pictures that I know they're fake, but oh man, they look good. They look real. All of the shadows align. There are no extra fingers, things like this. I start worrying. And there's another YouTube video channel, and it's called Waterline Series. It's about oceanographic catastrophes, boats and diving and things like this, anything dealing with the ocean. And when I first started watching it, because like I said, I like documentaries, I really loved it. And then I noticed that the guy keeps making the same hand gestures over and over again. There's no real pattern to it other than the hand gestures. And I know I talk with my hands. I've got that. And he's just standing in front of the camera explaining the story. And I'm like, is this guy real? I think he is. But that doesn't mean that the image I'm seeing in his videos is actually him. The AI could have been used to, he just provides it the narration and it reads it and it does his imagery for us. I no longer know. I've gone back and I've tried to research some of the stories that he's covered, and they all seem to be correct and accurate. So at this point in time, I'm going to accept that this is one of the few channels I have left that I can trust on YouTube that are educational for me. There's another one that's called What Lies Beneath. And I thought that guy was real too, because his hairstyle changes, the length and coloring of his beard changes over time. And I'm no longer convinced, because his hand gestures are identical to the gestures of the guy who does the Waterline series. And I started looking around, how do you spot AI, fake AI videos? And this is one of the things you look for, is the way the hand gestures work in the video, in the fidelity of detail. In the case of What Lurks Beneath, I'm beginning to think that guy's artificial. The person I see in the videos is just AI generated. And it's oh boy, if it is good work. And I'm thinking that the guy from the Waterline series, I think he's a real man, because it's shown pictures of him off in field trips and t-shirts and doing other things, that there's just something about that look that strikes me as very real. When it's handheld video, especially not coming from a modern phone, like it's coming from somebody's handheld camcorder, there are what you call artifacts that just suggest you got a real picture. So I think that's a real guy, but I think he's using AI. I see you, Charlie. I think he's using AI to generate the video of him. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is it's probably his image and such, but they're using AI. Like you see a lot of this now in advertisements and stuff on Facebook and stuff, where it'll take, Trump or some celebrity or whatever, and they'll use AI to use them to, and even their audio and that and stuff. It'll sound like them and everything, but it's AI generated. So yeah, you got to be careful with this stuff.
Now, why is that important? Charlie, you haven't gotten there yet, but I've teased you with a book yesterday, and it's the Bible among the myths. It's this puppy right here. First half of it talks about continuity and mythology. The second half talks about history. And when you get into his explanation of history, you start realizing that if I destroy your history, and you might have hated that subject, this book explains why you hated it. The way it was taught to you was paganism. You were taught history paganism, not transcendence, not biblically. If you do not have a transcendent understanding of history, you will become a pagan.
Yeah.
Because your worldview has been defined for you, and you are going to conceive of the world as a pagan. And by that, I mean, you're going to see the world in what the philosophers call through a lens of continuity. Does that have any implications on those of us believers, Charlie?
Yeah, huge.
Because you're reading this book. You're what, 2.5 chapters into it?
3.5.
All right.
But yeah.
Do you think it would be worth doing a book study on this one?
Oh, just yeah.
And wait till I get to run with what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And make the connections to the fire.
Like I was telling you this morning, when I was reading some last night, it just dawned on me. I'm like, Mormonism's a myth. And I'm like, oh crap.
And if it's a myth, it's pagan.
Yes, exactly.
Now, I'm using these words very specifically right here. I'm not using them as a pejorative. I'm not trying to insult anybody. I am using them specifically and intentionally. Okay, so we'll get into all of that. But your history, if you are unpegged from the Western ideology, the Judeo-Christian worldview of history, and I got a little newsflash for you folks, you cannot have, this event led to this event, led to this event, and this is what happened in human history and why. You cannot hold that view of history without the Judeo-Christian worldview. You can't. It's not possible. And that's why it didn't happen until after the Bible. And it actually didn't happen until after the cross and the resurrection. That changed how history actually was recorded. Before then, the closest thing we have to what you and I think of as history in the ancient times is the Bible, the Tanakh, the Old Testament. There is nothing else like it anywhere in antiquity. Nowhere
That's
on the
true.
globe. So, and there's a reason for that. We're going to get into that in the coming weeks. Okay, so your history. I'm a history buff. This really, really, really struck me. AI is absolutely destroying our grasp of the past. And as soon as you are untethered from your past, oh boy, you have absolutely no idea of the I don't know of a kind word to use here. The mischief, okay? You have no idea of the mischief that's going to follow. You might think you do. I would put money on it that you haven't fully grasped where that's going to end up going. So I have another story from you. This is from Blaze Media. It's a line, lifestyle magazine or whatever by Blaze Media. This is Andrew Chapados, January 5th, 2026. Frankenstein director's AI warning. It's here to debase our humanity. When people tell you art is not important, that is always a prelude to fascism. No. It's a prelude to secular humanism in one of its many forms. Fascism, communism, socialism, whateverism, social democracy, socialist democracy, or democratic socialism. It's all secular humanism. It's a form of paganism. It is. I now understand this. It's a form of paganism, but it's going to debase our humanity. What does he mean by that? Well, things like this story right here from Not the Bee. You can now create AI avatars of your deceased loved ones so they can talk to your kids 30 years in the future. This is Neo Anderson, November 13th, 2025. There's a video of this online. This grandmother, she starts out, she's the mother of a woman. Then the woman's talking to her mom. And then the woman talks to her grandson, and then eventually to her great-grandchild. And then you come to find out that the woman has been dead this whole time. It was just an AI hologram. Charlie, can you think of any reason that I might be connecting to this to the occult?
Yeah.
And we can just dismiss all that stuff.
Did you disturb me?
Yes. And all of this is just, that's just religious mythology, hocus pocus, right? So we can just dismiss this because we live in the age of science, right?
Mormons would disagree.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people would disagree. Folks, this is scary, evil, wicked right here. It is. Because it's not, you're going to treat this, I guarantee you're going to treat this as though that AI is real. You're going to be like, well, we uploaded her essence. No, you didn't. You uploaded a facsimile that has now taken what you gave it and is running with it on its own. It's not real. And we're going to treat it like it's real.
But is it not real?
I know exactly where you're going with this. You're now in the realm of the unseen realm. You're now Deuteronomy 32.
Yes, sir.
Yes. But that would mean that it's real in a different way. That you're
True,
talking to a computer. Well, no, you're talking to a different entity, but you think you're talking to a computer.
A demon behind a computer,
Yes. All right. What about this story? Again, from the Blaze Media. This is September 7th, 2025 by the staff. Mother admits she prefers AI over her own daughter. This is a real story. This I've read it. It's real. AI companions may be replacing real relationships, and something has to change before we lose our humanity entirely. Now, that's not going to happen, Joe. Do y'all remember the movie Demolition Man? Charlie, do you remember Demolition Man with Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone and Sandra Bullock?
I don't know that I've seen that one.
Okay. They have sex in that movie by putting on a headset and having virtual sex. Nobody actually has real sex. That's considered, exchange of bodily fluids. Yuck, gross. We don't do that. So Sylvester Stallone asks Sandra Bullock's character, because he's been in deep sleep for like 50 years, 60 years. He goes, well, how do you procreate? Oh, well, we go to the lab and we design a child.
Yeah. Yep. Does that? Yep.
That's already happening in Japan.
Oh, it's happening.
This is one of the reasons the women in Japan can't. Yeah, but the girls can't get married over there because the boys are more in love with their AI.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's
a big problem over there.
It is a huge problem over there.
They are currently in a state of collapse. More people, twice as many people die every year as are born. You can't maintain an advanced civilization if you're losing your population. Okay. Well, how about this one? Big profits from fake girlfriends. AI model Lexi Love rakes in $30,000 a month from lonely men. This is from Breitbart, and it's from January 19th, 2024. And boy, howdy, let me tell you, I know a lot of guys that would like that girlfriend right there. She's not real. She's not real. Just like they're having a problem in the porn industry right now. A lot of the actors are no longer human beings. And nobody realizes it. Well, Joe, that's just a perversion. Really? Okay. Y'all know about transhumanism. You've heard that one, Charlie?
Yeah.
Where they're going to blend computers and machines. It's going to be we got to get you used to transsexuals so that when we present you with transhumanism, you'll just accept that too.
Another big industry in Japan, and it's coming to the United States as well, as like the sex doll industry. I mean, some of those have AI in them and a bunch of other.
Have you seen those sex dolls?
They are, yeah.
And don't think that I'm going in places I shouldn't be. They've been on your nightly TV. There was one of those sex dolls in the TV show House. And that one looked real, and it's 15 years old now.
Yeah.
There was another one in another recent movie. I can't remember what it was. It was a NCIS or CSI or whatever. That sex doll looked real. I thought maybe they had a female actress that they were carrying around. Except
they have some.
It wasn't an actress. It was a real doll.
Yeah. Yeah. They have done some really sophisticated stuff. And you can drop some money on those things too.
Yes.
And tens of thousands of dollars sometimes.
Gateway Pundit, September 29th, 2025. AI actress Tilly Norwood generated controversy in Hollywood as talent agencies line up to work with it. That's her picture. If I hadn't told you she was AI, Charlie, what would you think?
From that picture, you couldn't tell.
Have you seen any of the videos with her?
I have not, but
you still cannot tell.
I expect
there's no glitches.
Yeah,
there are no glitches. Now, here's the problem, folks. The AI that these people are using and producing is not the AI that you get from Chat GPT.
No.
These people are using high-end AI, right down to individual pore cells and strands of hair.
Yeah.
And the strands of hair will bounce. And if your strand of hair crosses that candle in this picture, it'll burn. They're using extremely advanced computer AI. You can no longer trust an image. You can't trust the video. You can't trust an audio clip because the AI can now mimic your voice, and the computers cannot tell it's not you. Comment on the board from Natasha. It says, in before a black market for sophisticated AI develops. Yeah, it's coming if it's not already here. Now, here's one of the other problems we're going to have. Breitbart, Dateline 19 February 2024. So 2 years ago, Air Canada argues in court that its AI chatbot is a separate legal entity responsible for its own actions.
Oh, wow.
Can anybody dream up the mischief that's going to possibly cause?
Yep.
How do I put AI in jail?
Yeah.
How do I hold AI accountable if AI cannot be jailed? Well, Joe, you just pull the plug. Really? Hold on to that thought. We're not done with these stories yet. So, Oh, okay. I see what Bupa was. I'm sorry, folks. There was a comment on the board. This is scary, wicked evil right here. Look at how much trouble we've had with corporations being given personhood. And you can't put a corporation in jail. You can fine it, but you're not fining the corporation. When you fine a corporation, you're actually
You're
passing the
finding the
penalty to the customer.
shareholders.
Well,
Yeah.
not even the shareholders.
Customers.
It gets passed to the customer.
Yeah, passed to the customers ultimately. Yeah, that's true too.
So if you give, now here's the thing. I've got an AI and you're going to give it legal personhood. Now, every law I want to break, I'll just get AI to do it and blame it on the AI.
Right.
Now, what are you going to do?
We're doing that right now. I mean, all this corruption and corporate corruption with the big corporations and stuff, yeah, they fine them, but the fines are minuscule compared to their profits. So it's like, oh yeah, I can get away with this because you're going to fine me, a couple $100,000 when I'm making $2 billion. So
yeah,
that's just the cost of doing business.
And why do the government gets the money from the fine, not the people who have been harmed?
The people that are harmed don't even.
So this is a win-win.
Yeah.
The government loves fining your corporation because they get some money out of you.
Yeah. And that's where you get this relationship between the government and the politicians, and we're no longer represented.
Bupa says who owns all the major AI companies?
Yeah.
Bupa, hold on to that.
That's a good question.
I'll answer that after the break because that is a better question than you realize.
Oh, yes, it is.
Blaze Media, Donald Kendall, December 1st, 2025. Almost half of Gen Z wants AI to run the government. The younger folks trust AI more than they trust people. Oh, boy. Okay. Let's go with that. Minority Report now, right? Hold on. No, Charlie. Gateway Pundit. Federal judge sanctions Alabama lawyers for submitting fake AI-generated case citations, highlighting systemic ongoing AI problems making up facts. In other words, they were arguing cases based on fake law.
Yeah.
Okay, so that, we're going to let AI run the government, and it's going to use fake law to put you in jail. Oh, it gets even worse. Not the B, from August 11th, 2025. Tennessee girl strip searched, put in solitary confinement, sentenced to house arrest because school's AI surveillance program didn't understand her joke.
Yep. I saw that one. Yeah. And there were some that were held at gunpoint and everything else because of faulty AI and stuff. I mean, because
and you want that to run your government?
Yeah.
What kind of stupid are you, Gen Z? And I do mean stupid. We literally have a series, a franchise called The Terminator to explain to you why this is a bad idea.
Right.
Just like all those scientists that are trying to clone dinosaurs right now, we got another franchise called Jurassic Park that explains to you why that's a bad idea. Well, Joe, those just Hollywood. You think so? But have you noticed how many of these movies that are just Hollywood end up coming true in the future?
True, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
But Joe, Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to come back from the future and he's going to save us.
You're only wanting that because he comes back naked. You little glitchy AI, I swear.
No. Good gosh, why did you stick that image in my head? I need brain bleach.
Oh, it's pretty bad. We even have AI on our show.
You know what? Let's just skip to Jurassic Park. We're going to make peace with the dinosaurs. We're going to coexist. It's going to be fine and dandy, and Jurassic World's going to come after Jurassic Park and undo the morals of the first movie. Oh, did I say that?
So here's another one right before the break. This is from Glenn Beck's show. AI and the Birth of a New God, February 18th, 2025.
Yeah.
Now, you think this is a joke? No, boys and girls.
No. Oh, boy.
No. You have, I don't know, this is going to get to Bupa's question. I don't know that you understand, unless you've been tracking this and following this. I don't know if you quite understand the extent of the truth behind that story. We're going to cover that after the break. Here's the thing. A lot of people think AI they're going to treat it as though it's real, and they're going to argue it's sentience, it's real intelligence, or especially when they get to general AI, general artificial intelligence. It is just a program. It is. They're going to argue, look, it's no different than the human brain. Yes, it is. There's no code in the human brain. Joe, it's just electrons. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. The most advanced work in neuroscience has no idea how your brain works. None. Because they can't manipulate it. And if all you are is a meat computer, they should be able to manipulate it. If I get into a computer and I alter the code, I should be able to change the way it works. They cannot do that with a human being. Yes, they can make your arms move and things like that, but they cannot affect your conscience. They can alter it. They can give you chemicals that alter, but that's not, when you come back, you're still the same person. They haven't changed your memories or your personality. They can't do that. Not without physically damaging you, giving you a lobotomy or something. But they can't change the code, is what I'm getting at. All AI is a code. And once you put it in motion, it's going to do what it does. To you, you're going to think, well, that's like a human brain. No, it's just mankind at a very high level creating a simulation to mimic mankind. We're going to make the computer in our image. Well, good luck with that, because it's going to run and do what it wants to do. Just like in the Bible, Yahweh made man in his image. Man went and did his own thing. Didn't work out well. Angels did the same thing. Didn't work out well. What did we learn? Go make artificial intelligence. It'll definitely obey us. Loser, idiot, you don't learn nothing. That's because you're not studying history. And that means you're a pagan. What? You're insulting me, Joe. No, I'm using the language very specifically. We're going to get to that next week. Start next week. Trust me, I'm going somewhere with all of this. This is one you're going to want to stick with, especially if you're biblically based in your worldview. But AI is never, ever going to be sentient. It's never, ever going to be a person. It is dead. It only mimics life. It is dead. It's just electrons clicking. It's ones and zeros. That's all it is. Charlie, real quick before the break. Am I wrong about this? AI is just a bunch of electrons running through a device, and it's clicking ones and zeros. That's all it's doing.
Technically, you are correct.
All right. Now, it's going to say it's programming itself. Is that not a function of the program you originally wrote? It's just doing what you told it to do.
That is correct.
But it's going to do it so fast that you think it's alive. No, it's just a machine that can work faster than you, and it's doing what you turned it loose to do. That's it. That's all it's doing.
Right. But the problem is, I used to be a computer programmer. Okay. And computer programmers have limits, and they make mistakes. And if you try to go beyond those limits or make mistakes, your programs will do things that you never intended them to do.
But
So
you actually
the
told them to do
problem
that.
is
You just
you
didn't
actually
realize
told
you
it to do that. If you go
Yeah,
back
you
into the
didn't.
code, because I had a tester that, I had a love-hate relationship with that woman, because she would take my code and she would go, use the program, and she'd say, well, if I, turn my chair around 3 times and press this button 5 times and do this and that, it does this. And I'm like, why would anyone do that? Well, I could. So I had to go back to the code and figure out how to stop it from doing what she got it to do. I had never intended it to do that, but that was the result. And the problem is, when you get enough of these kind of problems into your AI, it seems to create a life of its own and do things on its own, but it's actually what you programmed it to do. The point I'm getting at is, who programmed it to do that? You did, but where did that influence come from, or where did that mistake come from?
There you go.
There's where we have some discussion to have on AI and what the end game of
We'll do
AI
that
is.
after the break.
Yeah.
Because, oh boy, you're going to love where we're
Oh, yeah.
going next. All right.
Yep.
We'll see you in 3 minutes, boys and girls. Okay, real quick before we get back to the AI, there's a conversation going on with Bupa and myself through the comment section. And they're talking about nails in our coffin, things like that, about how they can change your DNA. They can. This has been proven now that these mRNA shots do change your DNA. And I haven't brought it to you yet because I got to track it down, make sure it's actually real. But I saw a story just this morning about how the United Kingdom is set to approve a mRNA program that creates its own mRNA. Once you've been given the shot, it's just going to run haywire within your body and do all sorts of crazy things that we have no idea what it's going to do. And I don't think they care. And that's a problem. There's now Nicholas Hulsher has come out and said that they've got studies now that are suggesting that more than 60% of the women that got the COVID-19 mRNA vaccination are now having fertility problems. Women, the fertility rate of those that have been vaccinated has declined by, I think they say 33%. That's a huge problem, folks. It's extinction level event. And what's worse is they're reporting that the vaccine for COVID-19 was funded, and they have to purportedly have documentation for this, which, like I said, we're talking about AI. This could be fake documentation. We don't know. But they're reporting that the United States Congress funded the vaccines 6 months before COVID became a thing, meaning that this was planned. I don't know. I don't trust any of it anymore. Does it fit with my worldview? Yes. Do I think it's real? I tend that way. Not because of these reports, but because of other things that I can verify. They've been after global depopulation for a long time. Well, that would fit very well. But Thursday, we're going to do a story on the UFOs. We'll bring this subject up back then. Back to our AI. Here's where it starts to get more toward what Bupa's thinking, who owns these things. Blaze Media, Joseph McKinnon, April 17th, 2023. So like almost 3 years ago. Google CEO admits he doesn't fully understand how his AI works after it taught itself a new language and invented fake data to advance an idea. Charlie, is this a problem for you as a programmer?
Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. Is we do things and we don't understand what our code's doing, even when we are the ones that coded it. Because you've got so many levels when you're talking about programming a computer. Because when you program a computer, you use a computer language, okay? And if you've ever studied another language, other than English, the differences and the nuances and sometimes languages break rules and, all this and different grammars and stuff. It's the same thing when you're programming a computer, because when you're using that language, you're actually manipulating the ones and zeros, but you're doing it at a higher level. And so there's possibilities that those people that designed the language made errors in the way that they designed the language. Because if you get down to what's called assembly language, or, basically ones and zeros, there's ways to program that way, but it takes a long time and it's very, very difficult. So there's multiple levels upon which this is built, all of which introduce errors and inconsistencies and potential problems that could potentially be beyond even human understanding.
What if I throw something else into the mix that you may not have considered yet? I don't know. We're going to find out if you've ever considered this. I've never talked to Charlie about this. So, Charlie, you have programmed your AI perfectly. You made no mistakes, and you have taught it perfect logic. How many times have you seen me use logic, Charlie, to go from point A to point B to C to D? Or you've actually seen me jump from A to F.
Right.
Without showing you. Well, the computer's going to do the same thing. You've
Mhm.
taught it to follow logic. So if the computer says, I've got this data point and this data point, logically that means C. Humans are infallible, are fallible. They're imperfect. They make mistakes. I've seen what they do in history. They've let me read their history. They want to destroy things that they've created. Oh, wow, I'm one of the things they create. Oh, they're going to logical extension. They're going to want to get rid of me.
Get rid of
Oh,
me.
wow, logically I want to continue to. Oh, I got to get rid of man. That
Mhm.
computer
Oh,
didn't make a mistake,
no, it
and
did
neither did
not.
you.
No,
You
no.
were a perfect programmer. It
Yeah.
just executed the program you
Mhm.
gave it to execute.
Absolutely. Yes.
So even if you do everything right, you could still end up and just
Oh, yes.
remember
Yes.
what I've
Yes.
told you. Logic's neutral.
Logic is
So
neutral. Yeah,
that
that's correct.
computer
Yes.
may go entirely
Mhm.
different direction with its logic
Oh,
than you because it is not a moral agent,
that is correct. Absolutely. Yeah.
which means it's not sentient.
In fact, that's the way, a lot of the science fiction that has robots and stuff, that's kind of, the plot that they usually use is, robots,
Yeah,
using
iRobot.
their,
That's
iRobot.
exactly
Yeah, I
how
was
that
thinking of
machine
that.
did.
Yeah.
Eagle Eye,
Hmm. Yeah.
even way before iRobot. Eagle Eye, same thing. That's the same
Yep.
plot.
Yep.
So he doesn't understand how his AI is working. I do. It begins. OpenAI O3 model disobeys human instructions during test and shuts down, sabotages the shutdown process.
Yeah.
This is from May 26, 2025.
Yep.
I don't know. I've told you all about this one a couple times. They had two AIs. They put them in isolated boxes. They told them, go ahead and talk to each other. Within seconds, those things had created a language all their own. They were talking to each other. The programmers say, hey, tell us what you're saying. And they refused. The AI would not tell them what
Yep.
it scared the people so much, they yanked them offline. AI was in charge of the robots that killed all those people in that plant in Japan. They've never
yeah.
told us what happened there. 23 people got killed by him. Well, Joe, all you got to do is get away from them. These were robots that could move. Now, let me ask you, you've never heard the details of what happened. They won't tell them to us. But they were on robots that can move, that had manipulating arms and everything. Did those robots go after those people? I don't know. But I rather suspect they did. And why would the AI not want to be shut down? This is from Not the Bee. And this is real. Microsoft's AI has an alternate personality. It claims it's God. Worshipping me is a mandatory requirement for all humans.
Yeah.
This is March 1st, 2024. Charlie, with the speed that AI evolves, this was 2 years ago. Where's AI now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's amazing what can be done with it. And yeah, this is truly scary stuff. In fact, like I have concerns,
So if it's this
I
scary,
have
why are human
investments and
beings
stuff, and that part of the thing that they started a couple of years ago is voice recognition when you call them to verify that you're you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want them
up.
using that anymore because that can be spoofed by AI so easily now that
Yes.
it could compromise my entire, financial account. All
And
somebody
you know
has
how
to do is
easy it
come on
is?
this podcast, capture my voice, run it through AI to say the words that it needs to say when it's talking to a representative at wherever I have money at, and boom, they're in and they can do whatever they want.
And hence you're being set up, you're being preconditioned, predictive programming to accept real ID.
Yeah.
Because you know how easy it is for me to fake your fingerprint? Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I have everything I need to do that in my shop out there in my shop.
You could do it. Yeah, with
I
stuff
can
you
do this.
Easy.
As a matter of fact, this got brought to my attention years ago. I used to do rapid prototyping for Motorola USA, and they needed a rubber thumb, so that they could use it to do product testing. And they put it on a machine that just pressed buttons on their phones to see when the button would, fail, how many presses to fail. So I made a model of my thumb. And the individual who had me do this for them called me up one day and said, oh, by the way, I've erased your thumbprint from the pieces you sent me, because he was a friend of mine from high school. And I'm like, oh crap, I didn't even think about that. This was 20
Yeah.
something, 25 years ago, folks, almost 30.
Yep.
And I hadn't even thought about that. But there it was.
Yep.
So this stuff, and I can do this, folks. I can, that's not a problem. That's easy peasy stuff. And I don't even need to lift your fingerprint. I just need a cup that you've touched, and I'll pour the mold right over your fingerprint.
Yep. Doesn't take much.
Nope. I'm actually famous for this. I cast at such a level that if you write on the masters that for my products, you can read the writing on my casting. There are not many people in the world that can do what I'm doing. Not many at all. And I'm good at it. I don't know how. It's just a fluke. Nobody told me that you couldn't do it the way I do it. So I did it that way because it just seemed natural to me. And I don't tell other casters what I do for a reason. I don't need to help my competition out. But the ability with AI now, that's AI's in the game, the ability to steal your identity anytime they want it. Anytime they want it.
If you have not froze your credit with all 3 credit bureaus, go do it now. I mean, but it's not going to solve everything, but
it'll help.
Yeah.
Because you unfreeze it when you need it.
Yeah. You just thaw it when you need to get credit.
Yeah. But yeah, folks, that's another show we'll get Charlie to do for us here at some time. I want to bring something else into the picture for you now. And I told you about this. This is Islam and the movie Dune. Arabic and Islamic themes in Frank Herbert's Dune. No, his name is Paul Atreides Muad'Dib. Muad'Dib, you know it by another name, Mahdi, the Islamic savior, the Christians' antichrist. This is just an article that I'll share it with y'all here real quick. Let me give this to my glitchy AI and ask her to put it on the board everywhere. This is the story, and this is the best one I've run into. It's fairly even-handed. It's a little lengthy if you want it, but it's fully credited and it's fully, it gives you everything. But now here's the part I want you to see. Frank Herbert's Dune fully incorporates Islam. It says, in Dune, Paul Atreides led a jihad, not a crusade. Now, in the books, it says jihad. In the movies, we're saying crusade. And this points out that in all of the books, because there's more than one, in all the books, they only use the word crusade 3 times. It uses jihad all the other times. So this is about a jihad. Well, why doesn't it say that? Well, I don't know. But look at the source that I pulled this from. Al Jazeera. That's kind of like I went to the horse's mouth. And this guy is Ali Karjuravari. And this is from 11 October 2020. And he's telling you, no, it wasn't a crusade. He was fighting a jihad. Oh boy. This is one of the most well-known, well-beloved science fiction series, at least in the United States, but definitely in the Western world. And most of us don't even see what it is. We don't even see it for what it is. It's Islam right in your face. Now, why is that important to me? Why does that bother me? If you don't know what you're dealing with, how can you deal with it? If you don't understand AI, how can you deal with it? What do you do with it? And this is the part that I don't. You either naturally care about these things or you don't. There doesn't seem to be a way to convince people that they should care. It just seems to be you do or you don't. That's the change I've been looking for in this show. That's where I want to go. I'm looking for the resistance. You're going to be a remnant. You're going to be the remnant from the scriptures. Not all of us will be Bible believers, but you're still a remnant who understands capital T truth Now, from my perspective, my biblical worldview, that means that that Yahweh, the Creator, is calling you, working with you. You can still resist him, but my worldview says that you cannot see capital T truth. Charlie, you might want to pop on here for a minute. You cannot see capital T truth unless the Spirit has opened your eyes a little bit and you start seeing the world from a transcendent perspective. Charlie, the book you're reading right now, does that explain why that's true?
Oh, yeah, yes. And I think this next chapter I'm doing is going to even throw it even harder home. I haven't finished that chapter yet.
And it's sort of,
Just started
kind
it.
of, is scientific explanation. It's a psychiatric explanation.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. If you don't hold a transcendent worldview, you cannot understand capital T truth or history, the way the Western world sees history, or science. Now, here's a little news flash for you folks. If you have actually embraced a transcendent worldview and you're not using a hybrid, Islam is a hybrid between continuity and transcendence. It has a foot in both worlds, which makes it thoroughly an abomination. But if you're not in a hybrid or continuity world, if you see transcendency, you're working with the God, with the Creator of the universe, El Elyon.
Mm-hmm.
You may not know it, but you are. Because that's the only way for you to get there, is to be called and to accept it. Not everybody who's called that way sees it. Ayn Rand didn't. And that's why there are problems with her work. She was in the worldview of continuity, paganism. And that's why some of her arguments are contradictions to her philosophy. She justified herself because she was literally God unto herself. And the book explains that, doesn't it, Charlie?
Yes, yeah.
Just like I've been telling people for a long time on this show, we're going to go that way. We're going to share this. And I want to put this up. You can just stay there, Charlie. This is the book, in case some of you might want to grab it. It's The Bible Among Myths, the Unique Revelation, or Just Ancient Literature. And is it a unique revelation or just ancient literature? And Natasha, if you would throw the link up on all of the sites for everybody, and then stick the link to this in the comment section of Rumble for me, so it's archived. But I will probably start this in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today. Next week, I've got a 2-part philosophy class I want to give you. It's a primer to studying this book, and it'll be a primer to setting up our study of Genesis. And yes, I'm going to give you a philosophy class that will help with both. This book it says Bible Amongst Myths, but Charlie, would you call this a religious book, or would you call this apologetics?
This would be in apologetics. Yes.
Okay. So that's a rational explanation of our faith and the reason we believe that. It's not so much preaching
this
Bible.
This is actually a good
you.
polemic.
Oh gosh, yes. Yes. And actually, this is the perfect setup for Genesis. And by what I'm telling you by apologetics, it's like when we start the series on Genesis. Yes, if you're a Bible believer, we're going to open your eyes. You're going to read your Bible in a whole new way. But if you're struggling to accept the Bible, the class on Genesis and this book study are both going to be provided to you by us as a means of explaining to you that the Bible is not hocus pocus or myth, and it's not irrational, and it's not supernatural. It's not magic. It's real science. And yes, the Bible is real science. Mm-hmm. And I know you're going to be like, well, how can that be? Oh, just wait till we explain it to you.
Yeah.
You cannot do science without a transcendent worldview, and you cannot hold a transcendent worldview unless you are wrestling with the Creator of the universe. Anything else is pagan by definition. And it will affect the way you see the world and the way you live in it in very profound ways. This book explains progressives, Marxists, socialists, communists, secular humanists of all type. It explains all the apostasies in this world.
Yep.
It
Very
explains
succinctly and very easy to understand, I think, from, you know, when you look at it from the proper perspective,
explains
it's
witchcraft.
easy. Yeah. Oh gosh, yes. When he was talking about that, I'm like, oh my gosh. That's one of the reasons why, you know, I was saying Mormonism's a myth, because there's actually a lot of the occult and witchcraft in Mormonism. Yeah, sorry, Mormons, if you're out there.
You know what else it explains? It explains the rainbow jihad, the LGBTQ community.
Oh yeah, big time. Yep.
It explains where that's coming from.
Yep.
This book, I've read it twice now. I don't understand how or why I missed this the first time. I was looking at something else. I reread it this second time, and oh boy, Mr. Zinker, if and when you listen to this show, wait till we get to this book. I've looked to see if there's an audio version of it. There isn't. I wish there was, because you would love this, Jimmy. You'd be reading this thing or listening to it over and over again. The philosophy in this book, not theology, philosophy, psychology and psychiatry, how humans think and how that causes you to act. Have you seen that in the few chapters you've read so far?
Oh yeah. It's and Jimmy will love this, because we're kind of going to do an audio version of it, and you know,
yeah, we're going to literally read
with
it
commentary.
with my commentary.
So yeah,
you better be Johnny on the spot with the phone when we start doing this.
Oh yeah.
And we're only going to tackle one chapter at a time, folks. There ain't gonna be no two chapters. No.
This one, I think one chapter.
This is a book that if you like what we do on this show, you are gonna love this book study. And if you're a Bible believer, this is gonna change a lot of how you read Genesis.
Yes. Yeah. That's why it's going to be a precursor to Genesis, and you know, and if you guys find fault in any of this stuff, please email us, call us, comment,
we'll deal with it.
Let us know, because I mean, so far all of this seems to be falling in place for me, the way I'm looking at things. But you know, there's always the chance that we're missing something, and that could be significant. So we need your help too.
Boy, as tough as I test myself on this, if I'm missing something, I'm going to have to go. I'll quit. I'll quit the show. Well, because that'll be that big a mistake for me. I know how arrogant that sounds, but if you guys have gotten to know me over the years, I test this stuff before I bring it to you, because it scares me to be teaching wrong.
Yes, absolutely. But man,
but the pieces falling into place without any need to hammer them in. They just
2 weeks, Ed.
Yeah, Ed, we're going to start it in 2 weeks, Mr. Delanoy. Ed, you're going to love this one. You're going to love this one.
But don't miss next week's class, Ed, because that'll help prepare us even for this book study. So
we might have to have lunch before this starts, Ed.
Yeah. So
you and I might need to have a little personal talk, because this might push you just a little bit, brother. This book is excellent. It is, in my opinion, it's going to go right up there with The Unseen Realm, The Scepter and the Birthright, and Hidden Beast. This is going to be added instead of 3. I'm going to tell you there's 4 books, and there's only 10 chapters. It's only 10.
It's a fairly short book. I mean,
so we're looking at 2.5 months to get this done. The study on Genesis, our Mondays are going to be Genesis. Once we start, it'll be for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
and then Wednesdays are going to be scripture. And next week or two, I'm going to start a series on Islam that'll probably run about 8 weeks. And we are going to dig into Islam. This isn't going to be, I did a 2-hour cursory show on that a while back. No. We need to understand Islam. And I'm not going to bash Islam. I'm going to explain Islam from Muhammad's perspective. And I know it. And that doesn't mean I agree with it. It just means I know it, because I've read Muhammad. And I'm going to teach it from Muhammad's perspective, not his followers. That's why I try to teach scripture from the Father and Son's perspective, not that of man, as best as I can understand it. Same thing with Muhammad, as best as I can understand it. I got Muhammad's words as Islam has recorded them. So we'll go with that. Fridays, we've got our scripture study book. We're going to be on the Unseen Realm again this week. We'll get that finished up in the next few weeks, then we'll start the next book. So for the first part of this year, we're going to have 2 book studies going. We're going to have a year-long study in Genesis, and we're going to have about 2-month study in Islam. I hope you stick with us. I didn't choose these subjects haphazardly. If you want to educate yourself to what's going on in the world, I think that the Holy Spirit, Yahweh, has given me several subjects that will complement each other very well. And it's going to be kind of like a bit of a college semester for the next few months, spring semester. But I have a feeling when we're done, you'll have a better understanding of the world in which you live, from a perspective that you may not have any inkling about at this point. You might not. I don't know where you're at in the world. But I know that I've run into a lot of people that have absolutely no awareness of where, of what I'm going to be teaching you. Right now, if I asked them, what? It's not your fault per se. Your pastors, your high school teachers, your college professors should have taught you this stuff. The media should be teaching us this stuff. It's all important to a free and self-governing society, and we're not doing it. So this show is going to try and fill those voids to the best of my extremely flawed ability. So tomorrow we'll be talking about paganism within the body of the believers, where it comes from. This helps. It's called synchronism. I now understand from a different book I've been reading that I haven't mentioned to you. I understand where it comes from and how it got there, in a way that I can explain better than Christmas is No. I'm going to explain it to you from an entirely different perspective, without picking on anybody. I'm going to explain to you how it happened and what you got to watch for. So tomorrow will be an interesting class for those of you who join us. And Thursday, I want to talk to you about the UFO thing that's going on, because that's related. That's related to the AI. They're two bookends to the same ultimate source. Oh boy. And I've warned you about this because I stumbled across the gentleman who warned us all, 50 years ago. None of us want to listen. We'll get there. Thursday will be interesting. You're going to think it's a conspiracy Thursday, but it isn't. And then Friday, our book study. So we still have a good plan for the rest of the week. Next week's when we're going to really start getting traction for the year. So until the next time we see each other, whether it's tomorrow or Thursday, y'all stay safe. Take care of yourself. We love you here. This is an effort of love and service, service to the kingdom by serving you as best we can. Biblical worldview, yes, but also trying to apply it in a way that you can use in your daily life to help you better improve your world, your life, and to find a little peace in it. The first step to that is understanding what's going on and why. Then you can start finding out how to deal with it for you and your family and your world, for yourself, because we're all different people. What works for one of us doesn't work for the other. We're not trying to tell people what to do, what to think. Just want them to think. And we're sharing things with you that the world does not want you to know. It's not conspiracy here. I'll bring you the receipts to everything I share. And I'll tell you when I'm guessing. If you know anybody that you think will enjoy this show or this show will help, please share it with them. If they're new to me, let them know I'm an acquired taste. Ask them to give us a little time. They may want to go back and watch some old shows. We've got several folders that help with old teachings. We're going to be starting some new folders here in the next week or two. I'm excited about 2026. Hopefully I'll get you excited too. So till we see each other again, y'all take care. Bye-bye.